EOS, the mainnet launch, is it still a mystery for you? Or are you still wondering that what's going to happen with your EOS tokens? Or are you still wondering that what the hell is going on with voting process? Or it's real tough for you to understand? This video is for you. Welcome everybody to another amazing episode of Cryptocurrency Unmasked. My name is Bhuvesh and today we will be talking about EOS Mainnet launch. So let's get started. Today is June 11, 2018 and this story goes back about an year ago. In June 2017, a tiny group of entrepreneurs come together, multimillionaires though, and form a new company with the name Block1. They decided to launch a product on Ethereum blockchain and name it EOS. And the whole concept behind EOS is to build an operating system on a decentralized platform to allow developers to build DApps, decentralized applications. And from there, they released the token on Ethereum blockchain for crowd sale. About an year-long crowd sale, they end up about $4 billion US as an ICO, and now here we are. Block1 claims as open source organization that work for the development of blockchain and the community, which is led by another millionaire, Brendan Plummer. So after a year long, here comes the date, June 1st, 2018. Block1 decided to end the crowd sale and they decided to release the product on which they had been working on for about 1 year. Here comes the EOS Mainnet launch. EOS Mainnet launch was started on June 1st, 2018 and since then it's about 11 days. It's still in process. Before I go into EOS Mainnet launch, I would like to shed some light on the need of EOS and on what principle EOS has been built. The decentralized application, it's not a new concept. Try to understand that another blockchain like Ethereum is particularly built on this whole principle of decentralizing the application industry. Though there are thousands of tokens that have been built on Ethereum blockchain and successfully running, and there are many projects that are already been running on Ethereum blockchain. There's a huge issue in every blockchain, that is scalability, and it's the same issue that we have Ethereum blockchain as well. EOS is promising to overcome the issue of scalability by allowing about 1 million transactions in a second. And how they're going to achieve transactions at that scale, there's a huge discussion going on about that, and this video is not relevant for that at this moment, though I will be creating a different video in which I will be discussing the complete infrastructure of EOS. For that you have to stay tuned. So let us come back to the main topic, that is EOS Mainnet launch. So on June 1st, 2018, Block1, the developer of EOS, they released the software, they released the code on a public platform for the testing and the implementation so the blockchain can go live. EOS Mainnet launch is particularly divided into 4 major parts, and Block1 decided to completely stay away from it, and they make it very clear that they're not going to participate in EOS Mainnet launch events. And from there, the controversies and the confusion just started. There was a huge concern that if Block1 decided to stay away from EOS Mainnet launch, that who is going to lead the process of making blockchain live. So another independent group named EOS Mainnet Launch Group, they came forward and pushed the green button on EOS blockchain to make it live. So the motive of this video is to make you understand that what are the events that are going on in EOS Mainnet launch and how it's going to affect the EOS blockchain in coming future. So as I mentioned earlier, EOS Mainnet launch is divided into 4 major parts. So here comes the stage 1. As EOS is focusing on to tackle the biggest problem that blockchains are facing today, which is the problem of scalability. But ironically, EOS was launched as a token on Ethereum blockchain itself. Now, in order to move from Ethereum blockchain to EOS blockchain, EOS main blockchain, it was necessary to hold the tokens, or it was necessary to transfer the tokens from Ethereum blockchain to EOS blockchain. So on June 1st, when Block 1 decided to release the main code for EOS blockchain, they decided to freeze all the tokens that were running on Ethereum blockchain so they can transfer them to EOS blockchain. So the first stage was freezing the tokens. There were guidelines that were set up by Block 1 that how to transport all those tokens from Ethereum blockchain to EOS blockchain and not to use them while the EOS mainnet launch is in process. Everybody who holds EOS token, they had to transfer EOS tokens from their exchanges to their wallets, and they have to register them with EOS, or they can keep them on exchanges. There are many exchanges who promise that at the end of EOS mainnet they're going to get equivalent tokens in their wallets. So that was the first stage. Now the second stage. In second stage, the developers, they have to verify the tokens. It means that they have to verify that whether all the tokens are successfully being transported from Ethereum blockchain to EOS blockchain or not. So there was kind of a comparison between Ethereum blockchain tokens and EOS blockchain tokens. So they have to confirm whether all the tokens are being successfully transported or not. So after transportation complete, they need to verify the code. The community need to verify the code to test the code whether it is okay enough to go public on the level of security and integrity. So there were some bugs that were reported in EOS initial code, and they successfully managed to fix them. After verifying the code, when community feel that code is okay enough to go public, they cast a vote, and after voting they decided that yes, EOS initial code is okay enough to go public, and they decided to make it live. Before I discuss about stage 4, it is really essential for us to understand the infrastructure of EOS blockchain. I'm not going to go very deep into that, but I'm just going to shed some light on that, how EOS blockchain has been built, on what parameters EOS is actually promising to bring down the issues that other blockchains are facing with the scalability. So let's take an example. In Bitcoin, miners confirm the transactions and they form a block. Now, to achieve consensus or to achieve agreement in every blockchain, it is very essential for every node to agree on a block. That means that if I confirm a transaction, after confirming the transaction, after forming a block, I'm going to publish that data on the blockchain, and every other node have to confirm it. After those confirmations, then only that block can be added to the main blockchain. So confirming those transactions, that take time, and to achieve about 1 million transactions in a second, it is not possible in such a system. Here comes the second part, in which EOS used another way that is known as delegated proof of stake. In proof of stake, anybody who is working as a node, everybody who is working as a miner, they have to hold some stake of the coin. They have to hold some stake of the token in a blockchain. Then they can work as a node to confirm the transaction. Though it is a complicated process to understand proof of work and proof of stake, again, I will create another separate video on that, and I'm going to add in my blockchain series. For now, EOS decided to go with proof of stake protocol. And in proof of stake protocol, they decided to take power from hundreds and thousands of miners and decided to give them to very few, more specifically 21. So in EOS mainnet, there are going to be 21 main nodes that's going to confirm the transaction. So anybody who holds EOS token, practically they can act as a node. They can act as the confirmers, as the miners, to confirm the transactions on a blockchain. But there has to be only 21 according to EOS protocol. So who's going to decide those 21 nodes? Who's going to decide those 21 block producers, more specifically, if I say? So as Block 1 decided to stay away from this block producer selection part, and they gave the responsibility to the community to do it on their own. So EOS Mainnet launch group, they set up some guidelines that if somebody wants to be the block producer, they have to fulfill those guidelines, as you can see them on your screen. Though being a block producer is a huge deal. According to some calculations, the block producer going to make about $7 million in a year by confirming those transactions. So it's a huge deal. There's huge money that's involved. Some people are saying that it's more of a centralized system and taking power from the block producers, the miners, the hundreds and thousands of miners, and giving them to very few. It's kind of a centralized system. But the reason why EOS is doing so, to increase the scalability, as it is easier to confirm the transactions among 21 rather than confirming them among hundreds, thousands, or millions. There is unanimous voting process in which they're going to elect the 21 nodes who's going to act as block producers, which is very important in EOS blockchain infrastructure, as they will be responsible for confirming the transactions that are going to come into the blockchain in coming future. So here comes the tricky part. Who's going to cast a vote? Anybody who holds EOS token, they can cast a vote. They can vote for their favorite or desired EOS block producer candidate. There were about 117 block producer candidates according to this list, and by this morning I saw about 77 block producers that were active for the voting. I would like to mention a very important part here. How this voting going to happen? Understand it more correctly if I say if one person is holding about one token, that one EOS token, so there has to be about 150 million people that should cast the vote to make blockchain live. One person can vote up to 30 block producer candidates. So the voting process is still going on. You can visit this link and you can check the voting status, and there are few guidelines that are set up by the block one itself and the block producers. You can follow those guidelines. If you hold EOS token, please go ahead and cast your vote, because it's going to shape the EOS blockchain. The EOS is promising project, but if you're not going to cast your vote, if you're not going to utilize your tokens to vote for your desired candidate, then there are many things that are going on. Okay, there are many accounts, there are many exchanges who themselves are EOS block producer candidate, and understand. If we put my tokens on an exchange, so practically they have my tokens, so they can cast votes on the behalf of my tokens. It means that they can use my tokens to cast the vote. Understand? Now there are a few exchanges that set up the guidelines that they're going to use the tokens, and they're going to ask our permission to use the tokens to cast the vote. But I would like to recommend you that use your own tokens, put them on your private wallet and use them to cast your vote, because it is very important. I would like to mention that use the command line process, which is set up by the block one itself. The instructions are on your screen. You can check them, you can go through the link, or you can just Google the command line process for EOS voting, and you can just follow the instructions. Or there is another thing known as token EKA, TOKENIKA. You can Google it, you can follow the instructions. It's all about EOS Mainnet. But I would like to cover one more part in this video, that what is the controversy going around block producer election. Now, according to few sources, in EOS blockchain during EOS Mainnet launch, there are few wallets that hold about 15% of tokens itself. It means that they can cast the vote themselves. Only about 4 wallets there that holds about 15% stake of EOS tokens in their wallets, so they can cast the vote themselves, and most of them are huge whales. I mean, they can elect the block producer according to their wish. So here's kind of a manipulation going on here. So that is why I'm enforcing you once again that please do voting. Okay, don't forget to do it. If you hold EOS token, and if you are a member of EOS community, I request you to please follow the instructions and to please vote for your desired favorite candidate. And this voting, you can change your vote later on as well. You can vote later on if you like to change your decision. In EOS infrastructure, in EOS blockchain, it's going to recalculate the voting in every about 2 minutes 6 seconds. So block producer is going to play a very important role to run EOS blockchain. I have the details that how you can cast your vote in description section below. You can just follow the instructions. I hope that you like this video. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe this channel and share as much as you can. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, because you're going to get notifications as soon as I share something new. If you're not following me on Instagram and Twitter, please do. The links are on your screen. I am constantly sharing updates about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And before I close this video, I would like to share one more important thing. While recording this video, I experienced that there is a lot to share about every project, every blockchain. So I'm going to create dedicated videos for every token and every blockchain. So it is very important that you hit that bell icon and you subscribe this channel. So all for now, signing off.